Hello everyone, I am Pinesh Darji from Ganpat University Kherva, and you are going to learn the topic ARP. So ARP is actually the protocol which is used to map the IP address to the physical address. Okay, so first of all, what is address mapping and why it is required? The actual delivery of data, okay, the data of application layer is delivered to each node at the data link layer, and the data link layer frame will require 48-bit MAC address in the Ethernet protocol. So this address is actually installed, or you can say the imprinted in the hardware device called the Ethernet network interface card. Okay, and so but the data delivery over the internet is used by the logical address called 32-bit IP address. Okay, so finally the delivery of data at the data link layer, it will require the 48-bit MAC address. So this mapping of IP address to the MAC address is required. Okay, there are two types of mapping: static mapping and dynamic mapping. Static mapping means we are creating this kind of mapping table, the IP address versus the MAC address, by manually we are creating the table as per our need. Okay, so it has the two limitations. One, when the machine could change its NIC, so resulting in the new physical address, and when some such local area networks such as local talk, they are changing their physical addresses every time when the computer is turned on. And third thing, the mobile computer can move from one physical network to another, resulting in change in its mapping, or you can say the mapping from IP address to MAC address. So to overcome this limitation, we have to go for the dynamic mapping. The dynamic mapping, the each time machine knows the logical address of another machine, so these changes reflect automatically in our mapping table. Okay, so this mapping can be done by the following protocols: ARP and RARP, address resolution protocol, reverse address resolution protocol. So let's see how this ARP works. Okay, anytime a host or router has IP datagram to send to another host, it has the logical IP address of that receiver. But the IP datagram must be encapsulated in a data link layer frame to be able to pass the physical network. This means that the sender needs the physical address of the receiver. A mapping corresponding a logical address to a physical address. ARP accepts logical address from the IP protocol and maps the address to corresponding physical address and pass it to the data link layer. Now data link layer create the data link layer frame and deliver to the appropriate next node. The sender needs MAC address of the receiver. A mapping is how the mapping is done, we will discuss later. uh, yes, here is the place of the ARP protocol. So IP is use the logical addresses: source IP address, destination IP address, whereas the data link layer frame use the destination MAC address and source MAC address. So the ARP is, you can say, the intermediary that gives the physical address of the desired logical address. Operation of ARP, how ARP works. For example, in this figure A, ARP request, system A wants to send some data to system B. Okay, so now system A will require the MAC address of system B if he has not. So he will broadcast the ARP request over the LAN, and every machine over the LAN will accept this ARP request. So those who have match of the IP address, for example here is the system B who match with this IP address, and he send the reply with the physical address. Okay, this is my physical address. So this phenomenon is such like that ki system A will broadcast the message ki who has the physical address of this IP address, and the system B will reply ki yes, I am the person and I have this physical address. Yes, ARP request is broadcast and ARP reply is unicast. Here is the packet format of the ARP protocol. So hardware type, protocol type, hardware length, protocol length, operation, sender hardware address, protocol address, target hardware address, and target protocol address. Hardware type here is 16-bit field. Define the network type on which ARP is running. Okay, so 1 is for the Ethernet, 15 is for the frame relay, 17 is for the HDLC, and 20 is for the serial line. Protocol type, here the higher layer protocol which we are using, so 0800 for IPv4, and there is another value for the IPv6. Hardware length, length of hardware means length of underlying technology, that is the 6. Protocol length, the length of addressing scheme of the higher layer protocol IPv4. Operations, that is 1 for request, 2 for reply. And sender hardware address, 6 byte sender protocol address, target hardware address, and target protocol address. Yes, and this is the format of the data link layer frame. So destination MAC address, source MAC address, type defines the higher layer protocol, whether it is ARP or IP. Data, here the ARP is encapsulated in the data link layer frame. Okay, so this is known as encapsulation. Here 4 cases are available. One case, when the sender will require the MAC address of the actual destination. So in this case the target IP address is destination IP address. Second case, when the sender will require the MAC address of router. So here the target IP address is not actual destination, but the target IP address is the IP address of the router. Case 3, router to router, router will require the MAC address of router. And case 4, router will require the MAC address of the actual destination. So he will send the ARP request and the actual destination will give the reply to the router. Here is a simple example where two hosts with these two IP addresses, okay, those who are sending ARP request and reply. So how the packet formats are there for the ARP request and reply, let's see. So here system A send the ARP request, so it is the broadcast, and system B will send the reply. So here is the request and this is the reply. So you can see in the request that hardware address of the target machine is filled with the 00 because that is unknown at that time, and in the reply the all field are fields. Okay, thank you.